Video 2.
Sure. Alright, we are joined today for a session of mediation between two parties of Mr. Smith and Mr. Kobayashi. My name is Derek. I'm a student at San Jose State, and I will be playing the role as mediator.
Malvin, I'm mediator number 2. I'm studying here at San Jose State also. We're here to discuss the situation between these two neighbors are Mr. Kobayashi, him and his father, and then Mr. Smith, the issue that's going on with them, with the backyard incidents.
It seems that they have a couple of incidents going on. Just want to make sure that this mediation session is based around confidentiality, nothing leaves this room, nice, respectful environment. Anything that
Yeah, those are the ground rules. Be respectful. Try to be respectful at all times. You know, try not to interrupt each other. One at a time. The goal here is not necessarily is to just get you guys to communicate and just we want to know what's going on. So we're gonna start first with Mr. Smith. Go ahead and tell us your side of the story.
Okay. Well, it all started when I was basically I was arrested because the police heard that they thought I was a drug dealer. I'm pretty convinced that it was my neighbors that called the cops on me. And also another thing that started wrong with the situation I noticed was a video camera was set up, and it was pointing straight to my bathroom, which was kind of creepy and kind of felt like I was being spied on, or like they were watching me. It kind of made me feel a little weird about it. Things definitely was invasion of my privacy. I don't know why I'm getting charged with vandalism. And yeah, I mean that's my part of the story, I would guess.
Okay. Sure.
How about you?
Okay, so I don't know where to start. There's so much to even mention. Mr. Smith, my neighbor, I filed charges for. So there's few incidents that happened. Recently, my father has a backyard that's, really well kept up. It has lemon trees and apple trees and, cherry trees and a rose bush. Mm-hmm. It has a pond with a koi fish in it that's, pretty special to our family. I noticed that, Dale threw some kind of substance over my fence, and after that happened, everything that was back there that I just mentioned died.
I didn't throw anything though.
Okay, that's
everything died, like the fruit trees and the shrubs and all that. It really affected my father's eyes. He has to go to the doctor for it. I take him to the doctor.
And you're almost certain that it was something that he threw over the fence?
Yeah, it was.
Let's finish this story.
Okay, it was. Something that he threw over the fence, and it affected, a lot of things, and most importantly, affected my father, and it killed our koi fish that has a lot of sentimental value for, our family. About a month earlier, Dale reached over my father's backyard fence with a broom and knocked over our camera, and that no longer works. So he broke our camera, and
you were spying.
And let me finish. Not to add to that, he comes over to my father's backyard and gets all up in my face, and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? What is the matter with you? I'm just really angry that he's picking on my 86-year-old father. He's in his 30s, and he's a third of my dad's age. That's like a 30-year-old picking on a 10-year-old. Who the hell does that? Like, what the heck?
Okay.
So, I'm not going to take that. That's just plain disrespect. You don't treat an LOE like that. I mean, excuse me. My father, my father does not speak English, and so just the fact that he's, just coming over and, doing things to his backyard. You know, the vandalism with the camera. You know, it's just something you don't do. I almost feel like it's a little bit of racism because, you know, I've lived here for, you know, in the U.S. all my life, but, you know, my father hasn't. Like I said, he doesn't know English, and, you know, it's just, you just don't, you know, do those type of things. I don't know why Dale's doing all this, but I have a feeling that he might think that I turned him in to the police before the yard incident happened, when everything started dying, and when my, you know, father had the problem with his eyes. You know, I seen a narcotics team at his house, so I don't know if he thinks, you know, I turned him in or I said something to the narcotics team, but I feel that he is using that as a reason to come towards me. I don't know why he keeps complaining about the cameras, because the one, you know, my father has is broken now. There are already cameras set up now. He thinks that the ones outside my house are cameras, but they're really, you know, just motorcycle parts hanging from the roof. As far as the damages go, it's about $3,500 is what the district attorney, you know, estimated, but I'm not really worried about the money. It's more, I want Dale to learn a lesson for, you know, what he's done. You know, it's just, he needs to get, instead of a slap on the wrist, it needs to be a little bit, you know, more. I want him to overall just hire a landscaper to fix the damages that he caused in my father's backyard, and pay the landscaper directly. You know, I'm willing to resolve this. It's just I don't want him picking on my father. You know, just completely unfair, and I want things to be, you know, fixed for our backyard because they're, you know, it's a special place for, you know, my grandfather to go, and it kind of reminds him of home a little bit because of just all the, you know, all the Japanese decorations and all that. So that's about it.
Okay. So you mentioned something about you feeling that you and your father are being disrespected because of the fact that your dad's not from the U.S.
Right.
and that he doesn't speak much English.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how do you? And you also mentioned Rob, you feel like Mr. Smith is being racist towards you and your father. How do you feel about that? About the allegations of you being racist towards him and his father?
I definitely don't feel racist at all. I don't understand. Like, the thing is, I've always thought of myself as a good neighbor. I never would go out of my way to cause any problems. Obviously, if there was any problems, I felt that they could have always talked to me, and I would have always been very open to it. I even attempted to actually smooth things out after I got the charge on the vandalizing. I tried to smooth things out, and when I went up to the garage with him, Sato here, Mr. Sato was definitely displaying a bunch of martial art kicks in front in the garage as I was coming up. And honestly, it kind of felt like he was doing it on purpose as I was coming up. I didn't understand what was going on, and I was ready to hit him, but I held myself back because I didn't want the situation to get worse. I've been trying my best to avoid any issues because obviously I've had my previous situations, which honestly I thought was started from him. I don't know for sure or not, but honestly I have a feeling just because of the cameras and certain things that it's made me paranoid to think that they are trying to like get me in trouble when I'm not trying to be in trouble.
And you're referring to the drug dealer arrest, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, like that one. Honestly, I don't have like any. I'm not a heavy drug user. I do have a medical card, and I do smoke. But honestly, there's nothing more than that, and I wouldn't think there would be any reason why I would be needed called to get arrested for being considered a drug dealer when I'm not.
Okay. Okay. So it sounds like there's a couple issues here, more than one. I think I've heard you guys now mention the issue with the camera that you feel that is spying on you, and on the flip side, there's also the issue of the backyard being ruined from a substance that
He threw over the fence.
he threw over the fence.
I didn't throw anything over the fence. And my theory on this is basically I do use Roundup weed killer, and I don't know, maybe somehow the substance like slipped through, a small amount slipped through, and might have damaged some of it, but I don't understand how it would kill all these fruits and bushes and rose bushes, these fruit trees and these rose bushes, and this fish, which by the way, just to let you guys know, I never even saw this fish, and I live right next door now, so I don't know what they're talking about this fish about, and which is mainly my problem. I don't understand why they're throwing it. I kind of feel like they are purposely trying to figure out any way to get me in trouble and arrested.
Okay.
I feel like maybe there's racism toward me.
Okay. So with him claiming that there's no fish, is that
There is a fish.
Okay.
It's a, what is it? A damn koi fish?
Yeah.
There is a fish. You think we'll be Japanese and get a goldfish? We won't do our catfish. There is a koi fish.
I've never seen a proof of this. That's the only thing that kind of gets me wondering. I'm very confused.
Well, it's dead now, so of course you're not gonna be able to see anything. But
Is there no way you would be able to prove that there was a koi fish that I killed?
I mean, it's gone now, so.
The one problem is even if there's a koi fish, you have to understand my situation right now is not really good. My ex-wife is taking custody of my kids. I lost my job. I'm trying to find a job right now, and I'm basically struggling. I mean, I have a good attorney, and I have a pretty good case with this privacy issue that you've messed with or dealt with, crossed.
Okay.
Basically, what I want is I don't appreciate you threatening me and my father. And I mean, you could threaten me, but my father, who's almost 90, he's almost been on this earth, what, a century? Sorry. He's almost been on this earth a century. Like, that's not something you do. And the fact that you know how old he is just by, looking at him. You know he doesn't speak English, so why would you throw something over?
Let me stop you real quick. I'm sorry. About being threatened. He's saying that him and his father feel threatened by you. Is there in your mind, is there any situation or any case, any event that you feel that you were threatening towards them?
Definitely, I honestly thought I would actually was more civil about it. I actually really wanted to approach them with more of a very smooth way of just basically diffusing the situation instead of it escalating to the point where it is now. I mean, I've done my best to try to avoid myself. I've got myself in trouble in the past, but I'm obviously I want to do a lot better. I want to be a good neighbor. I don't want this problem with you. I mean, obviously your father and me, I honestly have nothing against your father. I mean, with you, we've had our in and outs. I felt uncomfortable and sometimes nervous around you just because of the way you just come off as to me.
I mean,
Okay, so with his father, like with your father and Mr. Smith's situation, considering the communication to each other, your father feels threatened by him, but Mr. Smith is saying that he has actually come over trying to smooth things over.
I've actually got my door slammed in the face when I attempted to try to talk to them when I came up to the door and stuff.
Okay.
So maybe there's a situation where you're saying that your father doesn't know very good English.
no, he doesn't know.
Okay.
I
Probably.
see. So we're probably dealing with a huge lack of communication there. Are you home often?
I come home every now and then, but I mean, the only time I really come home is when he needs, stuff,
I
or
see.
probably at least a couple times a week.
So for a lot of the time, for a lot of the week, a lot of the month, you're not really there. It's kind of just him, your father alone.
Yeah.
So it's just your father.
Mhm.
Is your mother still?
No.
No, okay, I see. So it's just your father living on his own in the house,
Mhm.
and then Mr. Smith is neighbor. So you're only there every so often.
Yeah, I'm not there like 5 days a week.
Okay.
But the day when I was coming over there to apologize, both of them were there at the front door,
I see.
slammed the door in my face. Even when I came just to apologize and try to make amends to all of the issues.
Okay.
Did you, when you allegedly slammed the door in his face, when your father allegedly slammed the door in his face, at that time did your father feel like he was being threatened, or do you remember what happened?
Yeah, I mean, he might have felt threatened because he doesn't know much or any English, so with him coming over and apparently getting in his face, he doesn't know like what his intentions are.
Do you think he came off in a violent manner or a disrespectful way to his father? Do you think you approached it with some, civility or?
Basically, were we talking about when I came up to the front door, or when I came up to when we tried to talk to each other in the garage?
Well, in the garage is when you got in my father's face. So
Actually, it was your face. It was just you and me. If you remember.
Oh yeah, me. Okay, all right, the front door.
Alright, well, so now was the front door him slamming the face? Well, now you brought up the case within the garage. What
The
happened?
garage was with me. I was in there minding my own business, and he really just came out of nowhere and got in my face. He didn't hit me, but it was. There could have been some. I mean, he could have at least rang a bell or whistled, let me know he was coming before he just completely, came out of the dark. I mean, I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
Well, to me, it just seemed like you were showing off all these like fight moves, like you wanted to fight me. I just kind of got this idea that you were trying to start stuff with me when I was coming and trying to talk to you about smoothing out the situation. I mean, I did feel that I felt like I had to. I almost thought that I had to defend myself there, but I mean, or basically stand up for myself because I felt like you were trying to come at me.
I know, but there's a way to. I mean, instead of actually stooping to the level of, actually getting in the face, I think there could have been a little bit more, I won't say like mature type of way to handle it, but.
So I think it's important for you guys both to admit that there's no physical altercation.
No, there was no physical. It was just verbal.
I think, and at one point when I thought about it, even when I was wanting to smooth out after I walked away, I thought maybe something was different from different from the way I wanted to portray in my head, and I think it might have been both. Maybe it could have been both sides. I'm not sure, but I just felt like he was definitely getting on my nerves that day, and I remember.
All right.
So I basically, there's just the whole garage situation. I don't think it was handled in an appropriate manner.
Alright.
I think he could have, toned down the situation or handled it a lot better, a little bit more, professional. In my opinion.
I think it was more of a misunderstanding on both parts. From the way his story and my stuff, it sounds like I felt like it was more of a misunderstanding.
That's what I'm sensing here. Did you some sort of miscommunication? What were you doing in the garage when he approached you?
Yeah, I was doing martial arts.
You were practicing martial
yeah.
arts? Okay.
And there was music on. It wasn't
Especially just kicks. I was just kicking.
And did you come pretty close to making contact with him? I mean, it makes it sound like you guys are kind of up in each other's.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't even see him coming. So when I went to do a roundhouse kick, he was just like right there. Yeah, I almost kicked him, but I actually hit him.
See, if he was gonna touch me, I was gonna hit him. No.
I could understand where he's coming from, but I just think you just don't come in somebody's garage, like full fledged in their garage without acknowledging them.
Did you before you walked in the garage, did you make any try to announce yourself like, hey, or?
No, I was just casually walking in, casually trying to walk in there and just talk to him about things. Didn't think I had to make my announcement there. I mean, obviously, maybe if I did, I probably could have avoided maybe a roundhouse kick that I almost got to the face.
I mean, because
So and the whole purpose of you going over there was just try to smooth out everything that's been.
That was my motive. That was my motive behind that.
Okay, so there's an incident in the garage. We could say that. Let's say it was tracked down to miscommunication.
I much preferred it if he coming to somebody's garage is almost like walking into, I guess you can say, their home. You're literally inside of.
Okay.
Their home. So if you would have said something before you actually made that step into the actual garage, it would have been a problem.
Yeah, I guess you know what.
I think what happened was.
I guess I agree with that.
I think what happened was when I went to kick, you took it as kind of a challenge or something, and it set you off, and then set me off, and then.
I thought you were just showing off for and kind of was trying to push me show me that you were basically tapping me.
Okay, so we established that he wasn't actually like trying to display any martial arts skill in front of you to try to like um to try to provoke you or try to like intimidate you. He was just practicing it, and you just happened to just walk in on during his practice.
Yeah, I think if
Okay.
anything, I got heated at the moment because I thought that was what I misunderstood what was exactly
Okay.
at the
And
moment.
he didn't see you. He didn't notice you at all. So.
I didn't know.
Alright. Well, I think it's good that I think we could kind of agree that it's good that nothing happened there, and that's maybe kind of a minor issue to what's really going on in this situation, which kind of now all goes back to the dead plants, the multiple fruit trees that have died, and the koi fish. I think that is the main issue here, and I think that we need to try to find a resolution to that.
Well, I mean, if anything, I mean, the only problem is I prefer not us to go to court. I would prefer us to take care of this, handle this like civilly. But the only thing is, like, I'm honestly like pretty sure that there was no fish in that pond,
Okay.
and I don't feel like I should pay for that. I mean, obviously, the landscape and those stuff could possibly be my fault from that spray. I really have a hard time believing just a little bit of that could make so much of a dead thing. But if anything, I would rather settle this than keep dealing with it. I mean, I was supposed to pay my attorney about like $500, and I'm willing to like use that $500 to hopefully maybe to get a landscape. And if anything, actually, I know a landscape that probably could do the job very inexpensively and take care of the job for us and be a lot more cheaper for me. So that hopefully, because at this situation right now in my life, I do not have a lot of money. I don't have a job. I'm unemployed. I'm basically looking for a job right now. I'm going through a lot with my ex-wife and custody over my kids. So I would prefer working on taking care of that issue than dealing with this one anymore.
So with Mr. Smith offering, $500 as what he can help to pay what's been going on is for you, Ms. Sato. Is that a reasonable amount of money? Do you think that will be able to cover things, or are you maybe looking to add on more fees for the damages?
It'll be enough to cover things for the koi fish, but I also want him to hire a landscaper and pay the landscaper directly for the damages done to the plants and the trees and the fruit trees and
I just don't know if I have enough to pay for a koi fish though. That's the thing. I don't even think there was a koi fish. So I'm having a hard time dealing with the situation because I don't even see if there's a proof. Hasn't been any proof shown of this koi fish yet.
Well, it's also really key in this situation is there any evidence that his Roundup weed killer, is there any proof that it killed everything in your backyard? I mean, do you have physical evidence to prove that his weed formula is what killed everything?
at first I did, but since the camera is broken now, I guess, that kind of threw that option out the window.
Because it might be a little hard to place all these fees on him if there's no physical proof that he's the one who killed it.
Yeah.
A lot of things could have gone wrong, but I think that's an important issue here.
As long as I can get things as far as him not, threatening my 86-year-old grandfather.
Can I suggest something maybe? Maybe if he's there, or maybe a translator, or someone in the family could help translate. I would love to be able to sit down and talk to him and try to make things with him. Because the fact of the matter, he's my neighbor, and I really like my neighborhood, and I would prefer to get along as a good neighbor with him. Us have a good relationship.
Okay.
So as far as the landscaping, you can't. You can only throw in how much?
I could only afford so much to help you out. You have to give me some understanding. You have to be a little bit lenient on me because of my situation right now. Help me out. I'm not assuming that you guys have a lot of money, but I'm thinking that like there has to be some other way that we could deal with this.
Do you have a pretty stable job? Sato, do you have is money an issue within your family?
No, money is not an issue. It's just, I just need the respect. I mean, if you look at it in your shoes, if you went to, say, I don't know, a country where you didn't know a foreign language and, somebody, comes at you, you're gonna feel threatened. So you just gotta understand where my grandfather's coming from. I mean, it's just, you know, I'm like the only one that he has left to, you know, do things around, and it's almost somebody picking on him, or I keep saying grandfather or father? Father. I'm tripping. If somebody keeps picking on him, you know, it's for me to, he can't protect himself.
Okay, so what I'm sensing here is that he needs for his father to feel safe, to feel that he can actually, you know, live in his own home without being picked on. And you, with your situation with Mr. Smith, you're feeling that you can't, that you want to be a good neighbor, but it's just like, for you, it's like more financial responsibility?
Financial, and also I just really need him to understand, I need his father to understand the idea of evading privacy. I definitely felt like that was one of the things that was struggle that made the issue first escalate, was of what he was pushing, the way he was crossing that line.
Invasion of privacy as far as my camera?
Yeah. The camera.
I don't think that was.
Well, obviously it's not a problem anymore now because it's gone.
So, obviously there's, you know, a big communication gap here. Sato, are you, I'm assuming your father speaks fluent Japanese?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you know enough Japanese where you guys can possibly get together, you and Mr. Smith, and have you translate what your father is saying to try to settle things out? Do you think that'd be a possibility? So you guys could find some, you know, common ground here?
It's a possibility, but, you know, I think as far as him and my grandfather were go, you know, I think that's, you know, pretty much what's settled almost. Okay. The only thing that I need is for the landscaping. Okay. Maybe.
I said I could help
how much
out. I said I could find a landscaper who's able to do the job very inexpensively, and I could help I could at least give $500 to it.
Okay.
That's all I can do.
Well, if we can agree on those two things, then I think I can drop the charges as far as whatever.
Okay, so if he can meet the requirement for
the two things that we agreed on, the
landscaping
and the landscaping, and just him not to threaten my father.
Does the landscaping include the koi fish that you mentioned?
Yeah, it includes the koi fish.
That you mentioned earlier.
Because as far as the landscaping goes, it's going to be, you know, 9 medium-sized koi fish. Well, what, $300? I don't think that we need that many, so it'll probably be a lot less for.
I just need to figure out a job to make any more discussions about financial issues right now. So if obviously money's the problem, then I won't be able to afford it right away, then court will be the only thing I can think of with an attorney. But if not, I prefer us to settle this. But just right now, money's not in my favor.
Okay. And knowing that that Mr. Smith, that you have been, you know, arrested on those suspicion of drug charges, I'm assuming that you going to court is something you would probably like to avoid, correct?
I would prefer, yes, I would prefer not to go. And also, I would prefer, when speaking to your father, I would like for him to understand that how uncomfortable I feel of him when he mumbles his Asian language around me. Like, I would prefer maybe some way of having.
I mean, what do you expect? He doesn't know English, so what else is he gonna say?
Well, I want him to understand how I feel.
Well, okay.
Wait, how do you feel when he mumbles his English? Does it make you feel insecure?
Yeah, no, just basically
I
feel like he's talking shit about me. I want him to understand when he does that how I feel.
Okay.
I don't think what he says I don't think it's gonna make that much of an impact on, you know, your life in the future, or just your life in general. I mean, so what if he says a couple, you know, things you can't understand? I mean, what makes you feel uncomfortable, but
I just don't trust him. It makes me feel like I shouldn't trust him. Mainly because of the cameras, all these kind of things. It just kind of feels like he's looking for something to get me to get rid of me.
My uncle's 86. I don't. My father's 86. My father's 86. I don't think there's anything, you know, he's looking for against you. He just feels disrespected. I mean.
And from what it sounds like, like you said earlier, you enjoy your neighborhood. I feel like you want to be a good neighbor, correct? I mean, it feels like you just want to smooth things out.
I want this to be. I would hope that we could settle this.
Okay.
as long as my father has peace of mind, then, and we can at least try to restore. I mean, anything is better than nothing as far as restoring everything that got damaged. As far as the plants, getting the koi fish, the fruit trees.
If anything, I mean, I will, when we.
Do you think you'll possibly be able to?
I would hope someone would translate my apologies towards him.
Yeah, we can definitely do that, but I'm just talking about, we could do the apology. I'm talking more about the landscape, and as far as, do you think that maybe you can, in the future, like, when you do get some more money?
Okay, so let's recap real quick. So you guys were agreed that the incident in the garage was just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
We agreed that, you know, his father feels threatened and he wants peace of mind, and that you've been nothing but trying to be a good neighbor. You have the best of intentions for him, but it's just miscommunication again. And with the landscaping issue, you already mentioned that money wasn't really too much of an issue, and you were willing to give $500.
Yeah.
To the case. So if money's not an issue and he's able to give this much money,
Mhm.
is there some sort of arrangement we can make between this?
That's fine.
Yeah, those are my only 2%.
So just the koi fish and
The koi fish, the landscaping, and
okay.
The respect that my
Okay.
father deserves.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, I would just hope that what's it called? That we are able to talk. I don't feel like I'm gonna get a door slammed in my face.
No, not a
Hopefully, and
Okay.
also. Hell, I just did. Sorry. Shit. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say.
So yeah, the peace settlement.
Peace
between
settlement, yes.
the
And
three of
also, I
us.
just want him to. I want you guys to be aware of when you cross the invasion of privacy. That's all I think. When we should understand, like that camera was right pointing in my bathroom. I just want us to understand, come to a clear understanding that I do have I prefer having my privacy and not being crossed.
Okay.
If that could be understanding, because you guys wouldn't want the same way if I did it to you guys.
As far as the camera goes, I think that maybe, I don't know, the wind might have knocked it over into your bathroom. I just know that it was, as far as when it was installed, I don't think it was directly pointing in your bathroom. I highly doubt that it was pointing directly in your bathroom. So, I don't really, my father wouldn't do anything like that, and
Okay.
I wouldn't allow something like that to happen.
Okay,
Because that's just,
so the camera is already is gone.
yeah.
There's nothing. It's like. I think
Kind of a non-fact, and once it's broken.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's kind of that camera's done.
Yeah, the camera's.
So I think we have a good mark, a good price set at $500. That it sounds like, Sato, that you're willing to accept for Mr. Smith, knowing that's all he can provide. I think that it might be smart to maybe place that money towards another koi fish, possibly, if that's what you want to use that money for. Just because I know it's such, as you said earlier, it's such a important
piece
piece
for
in
our
your
family.
family. So would that maybe be an idea, or? I mean,
Yeah, it's an idea, but I also want some of that money to go towards the landscaping too.
okay.
As long as he understands that too.
Okay.
So landscaping, the koi fish, and
I think once the $500 is paid, I think maybe you'll be able to decide what you choose to do with that money. I mean, you can put it kind of towards the landscaping or the fish, or vice versa. So.
well, I mean, if he's paying for it, then.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah.
Are you guys? So I mean, are you guys? Are you gonna be able to reach an agreement today and possibly drop?
Yeah,
avoid charging. Placing any charges on each other. Are you guys willing to maybe smooth this out here once and for all?
If you ever feel disrespected by my father, I'd much rather you talk to me about it. And if I'm in my garage doing kicks, just
Knock on the door.
do something. Yeah.
Okay. I could go with that.
Because I mean, you can't obviously can't talk to him, so.
Alright.
Ah.
That was 35 minutes. Was it?
Dang.
Good.
It's tough to sit through.
Honestly, by the way, we totally. I don't know. I thought for some reason I should avoid talking about how I broke your camera with the boomstick.
Mine says that you did it.
Yeah, I wanted to say something, but I didn't. I thought I should keep my mouth shut about that. And then, like, one thing is, okay, the whole time I felt like my character, when I was reading this, I felt like my character just wanted to be very chill and cool, but he was ready to stand up as soon as someone was crossing his line. I mean, like, he wants to be super chill.
Yeah.
The only thing that got to my attention is, like, basically the whole privacy thing. That was, like, supposedly one of the things that would, like, really, like, honestly bothered me about this whole fucking, how it started. Like, that, I just felt like they were, I don't know, I felt like I had to push off this character, feeling like he was looking for something bad at me, when I'm not bad anymore. So
Yeah.
that was my review on my character.
There's just so much missing information.
Yeah, it's gotta fill in the gaps.
Yeah,
like,
but then you gotta like fill in the gaps and make sure like that the demands are met too.
Because like, you know how you mentioned that like that your character has like a rap sheet, and then he probably would have that kind of demeanor in his dad being like this 86-year-old Asian guy who doesn't like know English well. He looks at you and he thinks, oh, this is a criminal.
Yeah.
So of course he's gonna have like suspicion, you know, people stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
So his father probably saw he thought, oh, he's a criminal and he did drugs and he did this. But like the funny thing is like in the paper, like he doesn't say anything about never calling the cops, but the cops are your place.
Yeah.
So they see how he acts, and then they see cops there, so automatically like, oh man's gonna be bad guy.
Yeah, so something was basically made escalate that issue between them. It
Yeah.
was someone else who started it. But the only thing is, by the way, guys, what's really confusing in this that I think that the details might need is the garage scene. The garage scene to me sounds like. And by the way, another thing I want to point out before this, which is in the same paragraph, or a little part of this. I'm cool with your dad. I just you annoy me supposedly.
Really?
Yeah. Really gets on my nerves. You especially get on my nerves. Like, I'm totally cool with your dad, it's like,
Oh.
but you just got on my nerves. And I was like thinking, I'm like, how am I going to end this saying that you're going to be my translator? I was like, I think I should keep going for, like,
Somebody else.
someone else, because I
Yeah.
don't want you to be around you anymore as much.
Yeah.
And then this is the thing, it goes, especially the day he displays all those martial art kicks in his garage as you've gone to the governor's residence to smooth into search your house. What do you mean? So like you're doing all these kick moves, and for some reason, I came to wanting to hit you, but why would I want to hit you?
Yeah.
Maybe he's being like a show off. That's
What-
why.
yeah,
he
but
just got
that's
like
what
too
he's
close
saying,
to your face, like.
But yeah, but when he's saying show off, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, how can he show off that much? Like,
Yeah, that makes you want to hit me.
Like, dude, like, well, maybe like you're. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is what happened. Maybe we're like basically you're talking, you're still doing your martial arts, and I'm trying to serious.
Yeah,
conversation.
that's what I'm
And I'm like, dude, like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna fucking hit you. Like, just like, hey, let's like talk.
Yeah, can you like
Maybe
can you
that's
stop?
all, you know
and
what?
then you're like, no, I'm still
Yeah.
going. I'm almost
Edging them
done.
on and shit.
Wow, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that it gives you that more of that understanding. So you can't hold your place as like, hey, we were just talking, and I was just like having a. Because earlier when we were talking about this whole fucking thing, sorry, guys. I'm thinking in my head that like, you know, when you're practicing your martial moves, you have like this like thing in the back of your head that like, dude, this guy is not good. This guy is not good. He should be in my garage.
Yeah.
I should like show him that I have control in my garage.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like that's what before this story was representing, but now it seems like
That's kind of why I said like when
Or
you
like-
like came into the garage, it's almost like invasion of not privacy, but you know, if you come into somebody's garage, like you're almost in their house, so it's like what the hell are you doing in here?
yeah.
Yeah.
Versus like you standing on the outside.
See, I didn't know how to.
Yeah, that's how you fill in the gap. You have to kind of be imaginative.
Yeah.
So I fill in the gaps. Like when you said like in the paper, it said I didn't even read that guy's section. I only read the Japanese guy. So like you say that you actually has a problem with him. You could have just came out and said like, you know what? I'm actually cool with your dad. I just freaking don't like you. Then that would have been like boom, burst.
But then here it says that he
Yeah. That would like
threatened
open
both
up
me
the
and my father.
Yeah.
So
But what blows my mind about this whole thing is the drug arrest.
Oh, yeah.
Random like drug arrest in the beginning. Like I wonder
Uh-huh.
like what happened there.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of interesting because that basically escalates something that was
Yeah.
from
It
that
just like
point.
it just makes bad blood and
Yeah.
you like hate them
So
on
yeah,
that.
you had like you're annoyed at each other in the first place, and you get arrested, and you think it's them who called you, but they don't know what the fuck's going on.
And they think you're a drug dealer.
And
It's like both suspected,
So-
both sides are getting like this different new view of their
Exactly, it's
neighbor.
because there's no communication between
Yeah.
the two of you. So we tried to do. I think we kind of like was like really floppy. Was establish communication like
with that
hey,
situation. That's
that's
not a bad
true,
idea.
like,
As
yeah.
mediator, we probably should have thought.
yeah, we should have been like okay, well, Well, because that didn't really come up too much about the drunk thing. It was
I
more
wish it did, because that could have been the whole thing that started this. That could be the foundation, and that's something that we should all take into consideration when it's communication between one person and another. That what's it called? That like you need to understand why we got to where we're at now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know I was doing
we
kicks in the
should've known.
garage. I was just
I know,
going
because when
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was fucking
kick.
fun, and then when he brought the first time, I was like,
like, what if I would have said like, no, I was just minding my own business, like doing like just other stuff, like.
That's what that needs to be put more into detail with your side. That
Yeah.
kind of information should be shared in.
Because
both
yours says I was
areas.
doing kicks.
nah.
Yeah. So this is all those martial kicks in his garage
Oh, you're
as
talking
you
about
have
when
gone.
you were doing it?
Yeah, because this doesn't say anything
And I
about me
looked at
doing
you like,
kicks, so it's
what
like
are you talking about?
I could have flipped the whole story around.
Nah,
but
I
that's-
thought
I think
when you
it's
first
good.
said
No,
that,
I
I
think
think
it's
you were
good
just joking
that-
like a racist joke of like, yeah, you're just doing like martial arts and like I think he's Asian, he obviously doing.
Yeah,
He's
that's
not doing
right.
anything
That's
else.
a rap. That's a rap too. Like, oh, you just said that because I'm freaking Asian, huh?
Yeah.
You could have said that. I was doing it that yeah, you were. No, it wasn't.
I like that we brought the racist card out in ours. I thought it was really interesting, mainly because I find like sometimes it's so easy for the white guy to always be racist. I felt that it was easy, and I thought it was more interesting to build up. Bring out
Why
this
is it being
character.
racist?
Like, hey,
Yeah.
cause I'm white, I'm assumed to be racist. So you guys are racist for assuming that I'm a racist.
Mhm.
Kind of situation, but yeah.
Dang.
I know it's just difficult.
Yeah, the details need to be a little. I mean, like this is obviously a lot more better in details compared to our last one. I thought.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. But just that those parts need.
I
certain things that we think
like
would be
that
more
it's a little
safe.
bit vague, because you can just use your imagination.
Yeah.
Just
True.
fill that in.
But if he told his story before I told my story, he was doing something, and I'm like, dude, you weren't doing just something. You're doing karate. You're in my face with karate.
I think it's really important that we had to start with you.
Yeah, that's why I was
Mr. Smith, yeah.
Yeah, but the only problem is when I started, guys, I totally wanted to start out like very like I was thinking in my head, this guy has gotten in trouble before. Don't have to. So those kind of people know they just don't talk too much.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that his character is kind of like kissing ass, like, I don't want to get in trouble, dude. I'm just trying to get out of this. Like, don't charge me. And he's
Yeah.
like, and that's kind of what he kind of is doing in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because if not, he's going to jail and he's
Mhm.
in trouble.
And he's like, well, I don't care about the money. He's like, just bring my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucking old, man. What's the matter with you? Fucking old, man. I'll kick your ass.
Damn.
And that was good. Number 2.
So that's what they do during mediation. There's like a bunch of missing gaps that.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
'cause,
but
like,
it's But I feel like the gaps are more like you know like there like you know that kind of thing. Certain things.
yeah, that thing is there on purpose.
Yeah,
It's
and they're,
more
you know they're gonna remember everything when
Oh,
it's a real mediation to try to peg them on anything they can. Like, oh, remember this one? Remember this one?
Or they'll make other embellish
Yeah,
situations,
exactly,
like how
exactly,
the kid in
yeah.
the garage could have been just a simple
Yeah.
miscommunication.
Yeah, exactly. No, just like the whole drug bust. Like in a mediation, I think you guys would have got us to realize, hey, dude, you're assuming that he's a drug dealer because he got in trouble. Like someone was trying to get him in trouble. Why don't you understand that? He's actually being a more good person. And then you know, you're like thinking like, hey, these people are trying to get me in trouble. Obviously, you guys both assumed the wrong side, the wrong thing. And that's what miscommunication is. Are we good?
Yeah, we're at 43 minutes.